If you've spent any time on gardening YouTube lately, you've probably noticed a major shift. The heavy-duty gas rototiller, once the crown jewel of the backyard plot, is quickly becoming a relic of the past. For decades we were told that spring gardening meant breaking your back to turn the soil into a fine, powdery dust. It felt productive, right? But here's the dirty truth. That satisfying, freshly tilled dirt is actually a cry for help from your backyard ecosystem. Today we are diving into the science of no-dig and minimal disturbance gardening. We'll look at exactly why overturning your soil does do more harm than good, and the hidden underground network you might be destroying, and a simple 3-step method to transition your garden to a no-dig paradise this weekend. If you want fewer weeds, better drought resistance, and tastier veggies, stick around. To understand why tilling is a trend to avoid, we have to look at what's happening beneath our boots. Soil isn't just dead dirt. It's a living, breathing city. When you run a tiller through a garden bed, two massive environmental disasters happen on a microscopic scale. First, you destroy the mycorrhizal fungi network. Think of these fungi as the internet of the garden. They form a vast underground web that attaches to your plant's roots. Because the fungal threads are so microscopic, they can reach deep pockets of water and nutrients that plant roots could never find on their own. In exchange for a little plant sugar, these fungi trade vital nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen back to your crops. When you till, you chop this living internet into millions of pieces. Your plants are suddenly left isolated, hungry, and entirely dependent on the synthetic fertilizer. Second, tilling triggers a massive carbon dump. Your soil is one of the planet's greatest carbon sinks. It locks away organic carbon safely underground. But when a rototiller violently flips the earth, it injects a massive rush of oxygen into the soil. This oxygen causes soil microbes to go into a feeding frenzy. They rapidly consume the organic matter and release that stored carbon straight into the atmosphere as carbon dioxide. So while your soil looks fluffy for about a week, you've actually burnt up its natural fuel, collapsed its structural integrity, and left it prone to baking like a brick under the summer sun. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but Petros, if I don't till, how do I get rid of the weeds? Prepare to have your mind blown for a second. Tilling actually plants more weeds. Every single shovel full of soil contains thousands of dormant weed seeds. They're just sitting there, waiting for their moment. Nature's clever like that. These seeds can stay dormant for decades in the dark. When you till, you pull those buried seeds up to the surface, exposing them to daylight and a sudden flush of oxygen. You're quite literally waking them up and planting them in a perfectly fluffy seedbed. By practicing a no-dig method, you leave those weed seeds buried in the dark where they belong. Over time, your weed pressure drops drastically. You go from spending hours pulling weeds every weekend to just a few minutes of lightweight maintenance. So how do you actually do this? How do you build a highly productive garden without turning over a single clod of earth? It's incredibly simple, and you can use this to start a brand new bed right over the existing grass or weeds. Here's your 3-step weekend blueprint. Step 1. Scalp and smother. Don't dig up the grass or the weeds. Instead, mow or weed whack the areas down as low to the ground as possible. Leave the clippings right there on the ground to rot down into nutrients. Next, cover the entire area with plain, unprinted brown cardboard or 4 to 5 layers of newspaper. Make sure to overlap the edges by at least 6 inches so weeds can't sneak through the cracks. Hose the cardboard down until it's completely soaked. This creates a dark, moist barrier that will smother the weeds while attracting earthworms to loosen the soil for you. Step 2. Layer your compost. On top of your wet cardboard, add a thick layer of high-quality, well-rotted compost. If you're planting straight away, Aim for about 4 to 6 inches of compost. This becomes your immediate planting medium. Your plant roots will grow happily in the compost layer, while the cardboard underneath slowly breaks down over the course of a few months. Only a few months it takes. By the time your plant roots reach the native soil underneath, the cardboard will be gone, and the earthworms will have borrowed a perfect aerated tunnel for your plants to follow. Step 3. Feed the surface. Moving forward, your only job is to mimic nature. Forests don't get rototillered. Every autumn, leaves fall to the forest floor, rot, create beautiful new soil from the top down. Every spring or autumn, simply a fresh pile of leaves are added, 1 to 2 inch layers. And you're kind of mimicking this in a sense by adding that compost right on top of your beds. Don't mix it in. Let the rain, the weather, and the soil biology pull those nutrients down naturally. Transitioning to minimal disturbance gardening takes a little bit of faith at first. It flies in the face of what our grandparents taught us about farming. But the science is clear, and the results speak for themselves. You save your back, you save the microbes, you save water, and you save a ton of time weeding. Put down the tiller, pick up a wheelbarrow of compost, and let nature do the heavy lifting for you. If you found this helpful, hit that like button, subscribe for more gardening tips. When soil thrives, everything else follows.